wrong with that? That's amazing.
I have to ask, are we getting the Deep's M episode this season?
They said that we were going to.
Yeah.
Listen, we're getting the best version of... Daniela's super pregnant. I don't know if you saw her, she's got a big belly. They're not writing that into the show, so we had to come up with an alternative strategy to deal with that. So I've shot with Danny over the last 2 weeks, like 8 episodes of a character arc for these two characters. And it's the greatest thing that ever happened to Kinsey and Deeks because this is a storyline that never would have happened without that. And after 8 years, we're getting the proposal that fans have been waiting for. There's a sound guy that we work with that came up to me after shooting one of these days of all these amazing and fantastic, dramatic and funny scenes. And he said, I've been doing this for 20 years. He goes, I cried 3 times today. And that's a tribute to what the writers have done for these two characters and what they're going to be navigating this year. So it's really exciting.
Are we going to find out what's in the box?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot like life. That's what I find out about television is that, like, you give me a movie and I know where it starts and I know where it ends. And in television, I'm just like, I'm waiting to get the script and we shoot it 2 days later. I'm like, oh, this happens? So I am just in the dark, just as in the dark as everybody else is.
Are we going to see Ray again?
Who?
Ray?
I would love to see Ray. That's one of my favorite guest stars ever. I think he's so talented, and I think that it's one of those people that comes on immediately and he has great chemistry. I think it's a great storyline. I think it's a really interesting part of Deeks' life that he doesn't really know how to contextually compartmentalize. So I would love to see him back, because I think it's definitely a thruster for him.
I can keep going.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you teach about the mole
She's the
storyline?
expert. Yeah. Oh, she watches the show. I love it.
Yeah, I love the show.
I love that. Thank you for watching it.
What can you teach about the mole? We're going to find out.
The mole is off and running in episode 1. The State Department intervenes and brings in a team to essentially go after everyone and take down the mole. And Hetty's involved. She used to go to Washington. They take over headquarters. Like the mole, it gets very real very quickly. And they brought in a great guest star who's like playing this corporate drone who comes in to like screw with our team. And our team is in Syria. And it's the first 3 episodes are like a freight train. And the mole is the catalyst for all of it.
Are we going to see Deeks' mom again?
Yes.
I loved meeting her last
Pamela is so good. It was so funny because that was the fans picked what episode we would do as our commentary, and they picked that episode where Deeks goes to prison for killing a cop, and that was their favorite scene. Is the scene with Pamela and Deeks and his mom in the prison where he says, you know, Dad is why I became what I became, but this is why I am who I am. I got a little chills talking about that. Because Pamela's so good. I think she's such a good actress and so diverse in her ability to do comedy and drama almost simultaneously, which is what humanity is, I think. It's someplace in the middle of all that. So yeah, she comes back.
So a few seasons ago, Hetty had that application to be an NCIS agent for Deeks.
Never signed it.
Are we ever going to see that again? Or are we going to explore Deeks' relationship with the LAPD?
I don't know. I know that originally this is the season in which Deeks was going to go back to the LAPD for something. But now that young Daniela Ruah is with baby, I don't know what the plan is for that. But I know there's a lot of unresolved issues. Like my character killed a cop and got away with it. I mean, I don't know of another show that has one of their lead characters kill a cop and they'll just kind of fire through. So we'll see what happens.
Are we going to get to explore more of the dynamic between Deeks? And we saw his relationship with Sam change after the torture. Yeah. Are we going to see more like between Deeks and Callan? Because I feel like that's a relationship that needs to be explored. He wanted to go out for like drinks and Callan was like, no. Yeah, he was. That's interesting because that's a relationship that fans really want to see. They're such different kind of humans. Which I think is worth exploring, and I think Chris is great. So those scenes together, you know, we had a couple scenes in a car that I thought really worked. So yeah, I don't know who they're going to partner me up with while all this stuff is happening. Do you know if Talia's coming back now?
Talia's on her own show. Yeah. She's on Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead. I hope she comes back. I know she wants to. We know we'd love to have her. I know that Barb Powley, I think, will come back at some part. She was great. Kenz's mom comes back. Deeks' mom comes back.
Palladino comes back?
I feel like he's on another show now too.
He's recurring on our Suits.
On Suits?
Yeah.
I would love to have him back. I think he's great.
What about Eric and Nell's relationship? Because there was that scene in the finale.
Yeah, they talk about that. They talk about that in the first 2 episodes. Like, those characters are also like together.
Yeah.
And it's all covert. And they're so good together. Renee and Barrett are so good together. Yeah, it's an exciting season for us. I think that they hit the ground running, and so far we've had 3 really good scripts.
What about the Deeks and Granger dynamic? Because Granger was always an interesting character, because at first everyone hated him, but he's gotten really good, especially off with Eric and Nell.
You're going to love Granger in the first 2 episodes more than you've ever loved him before. Yeah, he is the voice of the audience as all this stuff goes down. Because I think he's always had to play the heavy. But if someone comes in and tries, it's like, you know, when you're like me and my brother, like we would beat each other up. But if someone else tried to mess with us, then we band together. I think this becomes that for him, is that he, you know, steps in and defends the group. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, because it seemed that all the other agencies were like pushing NCIS out because of the mole. No one trusted them.
And that's where we're at when we start the season.
Really dominating.
You watch the show. I think it's great. I mean, there's a lot of great television on there, so I don't blame everybody for watching what they're watching, but these are all really good questions.
Would we expect to see any more crossovers with Hawaii Five-O?
I just talked to Wilmer. We're going to try to do a crossover with Wilmer and I on NCIS or NCSLA. I want to do an episode of Zoo with James. I think that'd be fun. I'd like to do an episode of Mom with Anna. You know, I think we're in the golden age of television right now. I think there's some really fun television. And I'm a fan. I was just talking about, like, when Jon Snow woke up, I was like, Jon Snow! Like, I get it. Like, it's such a fun time to be watching television and to be...
I'm supposed to jump in.
Okay.
To be watching television and emotionally invested in, you know, in great TV. And I mean, I send my dad, like, I can't say this because it's illegal, but I send my dad Netflix screeners and say, you gotta watch this show. Like, it's such an exciting time to be in television. And I think what's so interesting about a show like ours is because it's procedural format and the very slow development of relationships and characters, that a show like ours can go 14 seasons and still continue to grow its fan base, which is remarkable.
So now that you're here, can you talk about the importance of exploring the Kenzie and Jack closure last season when you did?
Yeah. What was the question?
Can you talk about exploring that closure between Kenzie and Jack last season, exactly when you guys...
She watches the show and she knows more about it than we do. Just to let you know. Jack,
Sometimes
yeah,
like,
Jack.
remember when you said you did it in the second season? I'm like, no, not at all. That was a very important thing. I mean, that was a storyline that was left open. They said their goodbye in season 5 after the whole Afghanistan ordeal happened. And then we kind of never heard from him again, which is sort of how their separation happened in the first place. It was like, goodbye, I'm taking off, I have this other thing I need to handle. So I think it was important for Jack and Kenzie, and I think it was important for Deeks as well. And I think there's such an easy way, I don't know what answer you gave to this or not, if I didn't ask, but okay. There's such an easy way, you know, to add humor to those moments where, like, he could be the jealous boyfriend or whatever it is. And Eric was so good at kind of taking the high road and being like, no, I love this woman, you know, and if this closure is what she needs to heal herself from this piece of history that she has, then he's going to give her the space to do that and be the support system when she needs it, versus being the guy, you know, puffing at his chest and saying, this is my girl, don't get in my way. So,
yeah, Erin Broadhurst wrote that episode. She was remarkably fantastic about not playing the easy notes in that, you know, part of the relationship. It's a good episode.
it also shows like a lot of confidence in these characters. Like, I love you, I want to be with you, and therefore I'm going to trust you. I'm not going to, you know, spend my time feeling insecure about this. That's no relationship to be in.
I already asked Eric this, but do you know what's in the box?
A puppy.
That puppy
And
did.
it's dead.
Oh, that puppy died a long time ago.
ASPCA is going to be calling us. I I donate money to ASPCA. Don't be calling me.
Did you put it in the box? You put it in the box. Yeah, you know it's in the box. Your character knows it's in the box.
Yeah, it's a gift for you. It's everything you've ever wanted. Don't you remember?
What is it?
But is it actually something? Is it like the whole knife? Is the knife, or what?
I don't know if they know.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Shane knows. Shane knows because he told me he knows.
Can you tell me what it is?
I can't tell you. I've been sworn to secrecy.
No, they wouldn't do that.
On the
Otherwise,
life
ruin
of
the
Jon
surprise.
Snow.
I feel like they forgot.
Winter is coming.
It's here.
Oh, winter's here. Oh, shit.
No, you can't say that.
I can. There's no kids. That's not live broadcast. She's going to edit around me saying swear words.
Look at her face. Look at her face. She's not going to edit anything.
It's good television.
Shit.
Oh! Unbecoming.
I read that Kenzie is going to be challenged by a life-altering condition. Can you choose anything?
JPK.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy, new family member of NCIS. You spoken to Marnie?
Yeah, he's super
Such a
excited.
good dude.
The best addition to the NCIS family, Wilmer.
Yeah, JPK's tease.
Yeah, JP Codes.
What was the question?
He has life-altering condition.
I already talked about this. It's the best thing that ever could have happened to these two characters.
Yeah, I would say that.
And worse.
After, after 8 years, obviously this all started, as a reason to hide my pregnancy. But after 8 years, we always try and search for things that are going to keep the audience interested. They're going to keep us interested as well. And this was kind of a perfectly timed thing where he creates this huge event that creates a series of events after that that are really important to these characters to get over or to deal with. I don't like when you're silent because I feel very judged.
No, it's so difficult to talk about it. Like it's become an art to figure out how to talk about something
Without
you can't
saying
talk
it,
about
yeah.
because it's such a specific thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
just
can tell
have
you
to
it was
watch.
very early on in the season. Like in the first couple of episodes.
Is it going to change the entire team dynamic, or is it more just?
I think inevitably, yeah. I think so. These characters, Kenzie and Deeks have their relationship, but we can't forget that all these other guys, we're all family. They're like brothers and sisters. They, other than maybe Sam, who has his own. Am I boring you?
Oh, I'm just so tired. And your answer is boring.
Here we go. Honesty.
Joking.
I know.
Hit a wall.
Yeah, other than Sam, who has a family at home, and now maybe these two characters who were beginning to create a family environment in their own home. They live together now, but they all live for this job. And when one member is, out of the game for a little while, that affects everybody else.
We see Deeks and Kenzie's new house too.
They have a new
It's
house?
surprisingly cool.
They just
Yeah,
moved in.
they just moved in together. It's like I don't know if they're renting it or if they own it, but it's not Kenzie's house. It's not Deeks' house. It's
Their house.
their house.
Are we going to see anyone call out Hetty again on keeping things from the team during cases?
What?
Hetty keeps things from the team during cases.
Who does? Hetty?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all she does.
Yeah.
I remember last year we called her out, when you were in prison, and I was like, "What is your end game with this?"
That was a really good scene. Yeah, no, she does. That's her.
That's her
That's
MO.
how she navigates.
But it's early. We're still, other than the things that pertain to Kenzie and Deeks in the first 9-10 episodes, the rest of the team, including Eddie, I guess, we only just started shooting episode 1 and 2. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. If anybody else is going to be challenging her thought process and authority, probably. Because again, like you said, it's her MO. It's the way she works, is being a little silent.